Hi, I'm Neeti Gupta and I'm on the Worldwide Partner team, and today we are going to talk about how to write a business plan for your new cloud-based venture. Writing a business plan doesn't have to be intimidating. Really, it's just a way to figure out how you will make your new cloud-based business work. This business plan guide will help you think through key questions that apply to your business. By making decisions about these questions now, you can give your company direction. You'll also have a tool to let you know if you're moving in the right direction and meeting the expectations you set for yourself. This video will help you explore 10 key concepts that any new business must understand, from your target audience to pricing to marketing and operations. By putting thought and research into each of these, you will better understand what will make your company unique and valuable to your customers and how you can profit from that. Watch the video and work through each topic to understand the questions and how they pertain to your organization. What does each of these mean to your cloud-based business? By researching these topics, building a consensus within your team, and writing down these objectives in a business plan, you will make these concepts concrete and be prepared to make your cloud-based business a success. Now let's get started. Target audience. Customers form the foundation of any business venture. You can't have a profitable business without them. So question 1, who are your customers? It's often tempting to think very broadly about who will use your product or service. The easy answer is everyone. But that's not realistic or helpful. Narrow down who you will be trying to serve. Will you focus on other businesses? If so, what size? It's hard to build a cloud-based service that is truly the best fit for every size business, from startups to Fortune 500 companies. Is there a size of business that you're best suited to serve? Now, what about industry? Just as it's hard to focus on every size of business, it's difficult to really meet customers' needs if you're trying to operate in every industry. The specific needs of the healthcare companies are different than those in aerospace or agriculture. What industries are you trying to serve? And aside from businesses, there are nonprofits, governmental organizations, education, and other markets. Whatever broad areas your customers fall under, try to narrow down the specific types of customers you can reach. Defining your customers broadly may give you a lot of potential customers to go after, but creating a more specific definition helps really focus your services, marketing, and sales. An important question you must ask yourself: are these customers new or different from your existing customer base? When existing organizations create new cloud-based lines of business, it's tempting to assume that their old customers will just migrate to the new products and services. But this isn't always the case. Sometimes existing customers aren't ready to adopt the cloud, or perhaps your new service will attract a whole new segment of the market. Take some time to think about whether your existing customers are likely to migrate to a new cloud-based way of doing business or not. For your cloud-based business, will you primarily seek to transition existing customers to a new way of working, or will you seek out new customers? So now let's talk about value proposition. Your value proposition is the promise of what you will deliver to your customer and how it will offer value to them. It's why your customer pays for your product and service. Now that you've narrowed down who your customers will be, you can figure out what they need from you and what value that creates for them. Another important question to consider is, why should your customers care about your product or service? Your customers care about your product or service only if it solves a problem that they have. Ideally, it should solve a problem better than their current solution, or else why would they pay for it? Having defined your customers in step 1, you can now look at their business and the specific pain points that they encounter. If you are moving to the cloud to better serve your existing customers, you may already have a lot of experience in understanding and addressing their needs. If you're moving towards a new or expanded customer base, it pays to do some research about what they really care about. This is a great opportunity to get out there and actually reach out to existing or potential new customers. You can explain that you are looking into offering new services and products to take advantage of the revolutionary power of cloud, and you want to get their input. Many successful businesses take this approach and find that it yields extremely valuable insight. Down the road, when you launch your service, you may be able to use these insights to your advantage. But at this stage, you should put the priority on information gathering. Take a look at your customer needs. This is where a targeted service has an advantage because your customers will have more similar needs than a broad customer basis. The special requirements of the industry, its business norms and regulations will all help define the type of service they need. How are they currently meeting these needs? You'll need to know this if you hope to offer a better solution. Often doing this type of research suggests new product features that will be valuable to your customers. Whether you speak with customers directly or you use your existing knowledge, your goal should be to understand what your customers' real needs are and how your new cloud-based product or service can satisfy that need better than the existing one. All right, let's focus on customer experience now. Different customers have different expectations and preferences about how a product or service will address their needs. These expectations vary from group to group. Some groups may be willing to sacrifice some of ease of use for rock-solid security. Others may have the opposite preference. Once you've researched your customers and their needs, it's also important to understand the assumptions and values regarding things like cost, service, speed, and security. Different services can serve the same customer base but appeal to different experiences. Is your company going to be a low-cost leader in your area, or will you go after the high-touch customers? And the question you should ask yourself is, does your product meet your customer experience promise? When you know what your customers value and what segment of the market you're trying to appeal to, you can look at your offerings to make sure that they will match the promise you are making to your customers. This way, if you are promising the highest security, highest service option, you can ensure that you will actually deliver this level of customer experience. So now let's look at product description. To effectively reach your customers, it will be necessary to clearly communicate about your product or service. People want to know who your potential customers are, what problem your product solves, and what kind of experience they will have in using it. Ask yourself this question: how will you describe your product to your customers? A clear description of your product is one of the keys to a good business plan. People want to know quickly exactly what you have to offer and if it might benefit them. If you followed the steps so far, you know who your customer is, what problem you are solving for them, and what type of experience they will have in using your offering. This information lets you clearly describe your cloud-based product or service. You should be able to get started writing your product descriptions with the answers to the questions we've already asked in this guide. So for example, we use the power of the cloud to help our small manufacturing customers in the automotive industry solve their problems with managing small run part files with the highest speed solution. If you're addressing multiple audiences, needs, or experiences, you can add those as well. For example, a product offers large national chain restaurants in the fast food industry a solution to manage their HR and accounting needs with the lowest possible costs. Now let's talk about target market. Once you understand your customers and the product or service you'll offer them, it pays to understand the market you're entering. Markets can be large or small, growing or contracting, and it's important to understand the current trends in yours. Ask yourself this question: what is the overall market size and growth rate of your target market? What are analysts saying about your target market? There is a financial analysis and reporting available for just about every sector of business. A little research can help you discover reports on the current state of your target market. Is it large or small? Growing quickly or slowly? While it would be ideal to only operate in large, rapidly expanding markets, there are a limited number of these and they attract a lot of competition. Often an industry is growing quickly precisely because it's small. Conversely, large markets may grow very slowly by comparison or even contract, yet still provide a large potential market for your service for decades to come. Understand the current size of your target market, the recent growth over the last several quarters, and analyst projections about future growth. This will help you understand not only your potential market size, but also concerns and values of your future customers. And have we talked about competition? Any market worth pursuing is bound to have competition from other companies offering similar solutions. Although it must be nice to own a market all to yourself, it's more realistic to look at competition as proof that they may be onto something good. After all, if no one else wants to be where you are, maybe you're making a mistake. The important thing with competition is to understand what other options your customers have so you can properly differentiate what you have to offer. Ask yourself, how is your product different from your competitors? Research the market you're planning to enter. What other products or services are currently addressing your customer needs? You might also want to research any announced products that may come into the market in the near future. What are these products' strengths and weaknesses? This is another situation where taking the time to sit down with your potential customers could provide you critical insight. When you ask them about their needs and expectations, a natural follow-up is to find out how they are currently solving these problems. What products are they using? How well are these working? And are there any problems that aren't currently being solved? Your research may yield important areas of service that no existing product is addressing. Or you may find that while there are numerous good solutions available, they all seem overly expensive or perhaps not secure enough. These findings will help you understand how you can position your product or service with your customers. The next question I want to talk to you about is how will you describe this difference to your customers? The key to positioning your product in a market where there is already competition is to understand what the other solutions don't offer. If your research shows you that customers really wish there was an option with better security or less confusing interface, those are really selling points that you can use to describe what sets your product apart. Your product description may mention the opportunity as well as your solution. For example, mid-sized hospitals across the country have a few different options for their patient record archiving. However, only our product offers a secure mobile device solution. So we've talked about other topics. I want to focus on pricing and revenue model. Customers care deeply about how much products cost. Your organization cares how much revenue it will bring. A good business plan has to include both these crucial pieces of information. So what price will your customers pay? Have you asked yourself that question? To figure out what your customers will pay for your product or service, you will probably have to balance various needs. You'll want to make as much as possible while still offering a competitive price so that you can make sales. First, understand what it will cost you to deliver your product or service. Then understand the cost of your competition. Your product positioning will also be a factor into this. For example, if you are promising to be the lowest cost option, then you need to be able to deliver a product for less than anyone else with similar features. On the other hand, if your product offers unique features not available elsewhere, you might be able to get a premium price. If you want to be able to offer discounts to encourage sales, you should consider this in your pricing. It's likely that you will need to refine your pricing as you consider other key concepts as cost of sales, marketing, operations, and support. Now, if you've done your homework, you must ask yourself this question: what do your revenue projections look like over 6 months and up to a 5-year period? When you know the size of your potential market and cost of your product, you can begin forecasting your revenue. Will you have to factor in discounts? Your projections will vary for markets that have a lot of competition versus areas where your offering is unique. If you're mostly transitioning an existing customer base to a new cloud-based solution, you may be able to accurately project your future revenue. On the other hand, moving into a new market presents risks and opportunities that may be difficult to quantify. No one has a crystal ball to see in the future. The important thing is to use the best information you have available to make reasonable assumptions about how your business will grow. For example, knowing that the size of the market is X and that you hope to initially tap Y% of the market gives you foundation for making projections. Include your assumptions so that others can understand how you arrived at those projections. Now let's talk about sales. People say that a great product sells itself, but even when that's true, someone still has to put the order into the computer. Your product will need a sales force of some kind, and your business plan should account for this. So ask yourself, Who's selling the product? What are they selling? How are they going to get compensated to sell it? There are various ways to sell products, using a traditional sales team, a network of outside sales reps, online sales sites, and more. Will you sell at retail through value-add resellers or direct on the web? Many products and services use multiple sales channels. Your business plan should also note what type or types of sales channels you will use. Will your sales people be salaried, on commission, or some combination? Will online sales be part of your strategy? Will sales people go to customers or wait for customers to come to them? Your business plan should provide an overview of all of this. It's very likely that you will use sales channels that you already have in place for your other offerings. However, if this new cloud-based business will be a departure for your company, or if it opens up new markets that you may not yet be reaching, you should include a plan for selling into these markets as well. And we haven't touched marketing yet, so let's talk about marketing. You've researched your customers and their needs and defined how your products and services will meet these needs, offer value, and stand out from the competing offerings. Now you need to decide how you will make your potential customers aware of your product and its advantages. This will be your marketing strategy. Marketing is a broad and ongoing effort that will evolve with your product, customers, and competition. You don't have to figure out every detail at this point. However, there are some key decisions you should address in your business plan. So ask yourself these questions. Who will market your product? What tactics, traditional or new, will they use? How will the marketing team work with your sales team? Will you use an existing marketing team in your company? Create a new team to market this product? Use an outside marketing company? Or perhaps some combination of these possibilities? There are a number of marketing tactics that your team can use, from print advertising to social media to old-fashioned word of mouth. You'll probably use multiple tactics. Identify each of these tactics you will primarily rely on to reach your customers and what others you may also employ. Knowing what tactics you'll use also helps ensure that you're assembling a team that can help ensure success. For example, if search engine keywords will be key to your marketing, you need people who know how to do this. You will probably want to identify resources that you have or you will need to acquire with expertise in that area. If you're going to use media advertising, include plans for hiring an ad agency that specializes in this. And then ask yourself, how will you align sales and marketing departments to produce the best results? Will you use tools like inbound marketers to prepare prospects for sales? Will sales have input on materials that marketing creates so that they can incorporate their frontline customer feedback? Your business plan must address this. Finally, let's talk about customer service and operations. Customer support has never been more important than today, when one bad review or experience can rapidly spread across your customer base by social media. What are you going to do about it? Your business plan should lay out how you will address customer service and operations to ensure that your customers get what you've promised them and they stick around and become a source of positive recommendations for your new cloud-based offering. Similarly, your cloud operations are not going to run themselves. You need to assess who will be willing to perform the vital tasks that keep them running and understand what the cost will be to support this. So ask this question. Who will make sure customers are getting support? Customer service is an important part of retaining customers and ideally turning them into your evangelists for your service. Your business plan is a good place to decide whether you will use in-house or outsource customer service and what are the costs associated with this. Using your sales projections as a basis for how many customers you plan to have and factoring in the average customer service needs should help you give a good forecast to use in your business plan. Meeting with your current customer support team or potential outsourced support firms is also a good way to get more realistic projections about how much support your particular product or service is likely to require. Ask yourself, who will make sure that the underlying infrastructure supports the end-to-end customer experience? Your cloud service will not just run itself. It will take a physical infrastructure support and IT personnel to keep it running smoothly. As with customer service, you can use your sales projections to forecast what your infrastructure support needs will be. It's worthwhile to put some research into the operations requirements for your new offerings to ensure that you are setting yourself to succeed and give your customers a great user experience. Now let's pull it all together. We've covered a lot of questions in going through this Cloud Profitability Business Plan Guide. No doubt you have some research to do and discussions with your team ahead of you. You may want to come back to this video when you've collected answers to assemble your business plan. The 10 key concepts all work together and influence each other. For example, if you're selling your service based on a customer experience of high reliability, then you should probably plan ample operational resources to ensure this is possible. Or if you're looking to be the lowest cost offering in your market, you will need to consider this cost savings as you make your plans in areas like support, marketing, and pricing. Taking the time to speak with your potential customers can yield valuable information that you just can't get any other way. This could be as thorough as a formal survey of your potential marketplace, or as simple as a few calls to your existing customers or friends working in that market. Whatever time you can spend on real-world research almost always turns out to be well spent, in my opinion. The first 6 concepts are mostly about how you will create a product that customers in a specific market will value enough to purchase over your competition. The remaining concepts are about how you will sell it to your customers and the expenses and income streams from doing so. So as you go away and write your business plan, make sure that your key concepts line up and support one another. These 10 concepts will help you take your idea for a new cloud-based business from a concept to reality. Succeed in your planning, and there's a very good chance that your plan will succeed. Good luck with your new business venture.